The Snake Chapter. The Serpent. Lay aside anger, Brahman, give up pride, surmount all fetters. No torments touch him who lays aside anger, who gives up pride, who surmounts all fetters. As water does not stick to a lotus leaf, so a sage does not stick to sights, sounds, and what is sensed. Having cut off anger, as they pull out a poisonous plant, let the monk live with body stilled, speech stilled. Let him cast out utterly all clinging desires. What is stuck behind and what is in front and in between, let him cast it all out. Without possessions, not clinging to anything. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They, by whom what is stuck behind and what is in front and in between exists no more. Without possessions, not clinging to anything. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. Craving he is not for what is past. No new one is arising in him. He goes on without craving. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. Craving they have not for what is past. No new one is arising in them. They go on without craving. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. He is not a defiler. He is not greedy. He has gone beyond all attachments. Delivered is he. I call him a serpent who has cast off the slough. They are not defilers. They are not greedy. They have gone beyond all attachments. Delivered are they. I call them serpents who have cast off the slough. He has not made anything his own, neither what is visible nor what is heard or sensed. He is not bound by deeds. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They have not made anything their own, neither what is visible nor what is heard or sensed. They are not bound by deeds. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. He does not conjure. He does not mutter. He is not excited. He is without concealment. He has gone beyond all excitements. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They do not conjure. They do not mutter. They are not excited. They are without concealment. They have gone beyond all excitements. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. He has gone to the supreme goal. He is independent. Nowhere on earth does he strive for betterment. He has crossed over the flood. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They have gone to the supreme goal. They are independent. Nowhere on earth do they strive for betterment. They have crossed over the flood. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. He goes on without fault. He does not stumble anywhere. He is not everywhere intimate. Cut off is birth and death. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They go on without fault. They do not stumble anywhere. They are not everywhere intimate. Cut off is birth and death. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. He has no greed. He is without avarice. Everywhere he rejects name and form. Destroyed is his clinging. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They have no greed. They are without avarice. Everywhere they reject name and form. Destroyed is their clinging. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. He has nothing of his own. He does not neglect knowledge. He has come to know on his own. He rightly knows the goal. That is the name of a serpent who has cast off the slough. They have nothing of their own. They do not neglect knowledge. They have come to know on their own. They rightly know the goal. That is the name of serpents who have cast off the slough. Revering this one who is without hatred, who is steadfast, delivered, without vexation, hard to grasp, here in this world, to such a Brahman the gods also pay reverence. The minor chapter, Kakuta. I ask you, Gautama of great wisdom, when he has completely passed away in the world, where does the person dwell who is freed from name and form? Difficult to fathom, Kakuta, is the case of one who has completely passed away. You are not able to understand it. The thing is hard for you to know. But if I am not able to understand, tell me at least this much, Gautama, which I can understand. When all phenomena, by which one specifies, are cut off, then all ways of specifying are also cut off. The questions of Ravada. I ask you, sir, tell me this when asked, how should a monk live alone, withdrawn from the world? Let him curb offense in the world, both in the small and in the large. Let him not be distressed by anything at all. Let him fare like a son to only one. Let him leave behind what is before and what is behind. If he does not cling to what is in between, he will go on without clinging. He will not sink in the flood. For him, let name and form be wholly cut off within, just as he knows it. So let him always be mindful. For him there are no grounds for quarrels. With whom should he quarrel? Having relinquished the pleasant and the unpleasant, later he does not grasp at anything. For him, relinquished are the states of attachment and aversion. His is the state without sorrow, stainless. I say to you, he is wise. Let him conquer this one danger. Let him conquer the homes of sensual desire, casting aside delusion, always mindful. Let him live without association. He has cut off mind in every way. Let him not be attached to anything anywhere, just as he knows it. So let him always be mindful. For him are no grounds for accumulating. That is the island without a shore. Let him not make it his own. Cut off, he is without clinging. Nowhere does he attach himself. Monks who leave home, and, having known the Dhamma, fare accordingly. They are restrained in accordance with the training. They achieve association with the stainless one. The questions of unmoved. I ask you, sir, tell me this when asked. How should a monk be? Of what sort? Clever, intelligent. Let him revere those who are experienced, older, and of good conduct, and know his goal from time to time. With proper lodging, and with food and drink, let him honor them, washing their feet. Whatever Dhamma they teach him, connected with serenity, let him honor it, mindful, without scorn. Seeing those who are quarrelsome, subject to dispute, he should avoid them from afar. Let him cultivate a dwelling place that is secluded, with little noise. Let him be moderate in food. Let him not be given to clothes. Let him not babble. Let him not be concerned with gossip. Let him be self-possessed. let him be aloof from the unfaithful. If he should obtain choice dainty foods, let him not eat his fill, but eat with awareness. He finds no excitement inside or out. With body stilled, speech stilled, and mind stilled, let the monk thoroughly cleanse away defilements. When the teacher explains the Dhamma, he should honor him with all his attention. Knowing the origin of existence in the world, let him fare mindfully, dispelling sorrow. The questions of Udaya. I ask you, sir, tell me this when asked. What cuts off delusion completely, and what is its leaving behind? What is the stilling of mind? Tell me that. The abandoning of sensual pleasure cuts off delusion. Name is its leaving behind. The stilling of mind is the abandoning of thinking. The questions of Pasala. I ask you, sir, tell me this when asked. Who is the one who has no more possessions here, who is without longing for forms, name, and form? How is it that delusion is destroyed by him? Having thoroughly known the state where name and form cease, inwardly, the one who is conscious fares detached. Thus, delusion is destroyed by him. The questions of Maharaja. I ask you, sir, tell me this when asked. In what way should one regard the world, Maharaja, so that the king of death does not see him? Regard the world as empty, Maharaja, always mindful, uprooting any view about self. Thus, one might be beyond death. The king of death does not see one who regards the world in this way. The questions of Panjia. I will ask the one of straightforward wisdom, the one who has gotten rid of fever, about peace of the highest kind. Having known birth and decay, how does one abandon this body here, so that the next existence is not conditioned for him? Panjia, should one be without greed, hating neither here nor anywhere, for him, that next existence will not be conditioned. The chapter of the eights. The chapter on the cave. I will describe to you the cave, where one enters and is plunged into darkness. One then does not shine forth. I will describe how one should reject it, just as it was taught by the one who sees. For one addicted to sense pleasures, for one who is greatly greedy, for one who is impassioned in his likes, and for one who speaks what is for increasing existence, truly, that cave grows great for him. But those who are always abandoning sense pleasures, who are without greed, who see clearly, and who speak what is for the extinguishing of existence, truly, that cave does not exist for them. I will tell you about detachment, as to how this thing is. Having pulled up the root of greed, the monk fares mindfully, overcoming all sorrow. He is wise, stainless, steady. He does not crave any existence. He has abandoned this burden here. He is not stained by anything in the world. The chapter on strife. Having originated from liking, preferences, attachment, and opinions, strife and contention arise when viewpoints are adhered to. Seeing this origin of strife, one should not be set on opinions. In the world, those who adhere to their opinions as best say all other opinions are worthless. If one has considered them worthless because of his own opinions, then all opinions are subject to contention. But for one in whom there are no preferences, how could he contend with anyone? He does not take hold among forms seen, heard, or sensed. He is without opinions. What could he dispute with anyone? He does not take up anything. He does not reject anything. He has abandoned right here all opinions whatsoever. He crosses over the flood, the thicket. He is without attachment. The chapter on greatness. He is of great wisdom, possessed of understanding, intelligent, discerning, ever mindful. He does not attach to what is seen or heard. Having understood the origin of attachment, he crosses over this attachment. He is free from bonds. He does not pursue any goal. He does not long for what is before, nor is he pleased with what is behind, nor does he adopt what is in between. He is without preferences. He does not speak about purity, dependence, or independence. He is dispassionate regarding perception. Truly, he has no attachment here. He is without craving, without greed. He has no anywhere. He is cut across the stream. For him, there is no anguish. The chapter on speed. Like a snake shedding its skin, the monk should abandon what is old, or else he will be defiled by those deceitful things. He should not seek after sense pleasures, abandoning them. The monk should look out for his own cleansing. The monk should be a wise investigator. Let him censure himself by himself. May he be protected by mindfulness. May he be happy. He should be moderate in food, self-controlled in mind. Let him be without defilements. May he not have cravings anywhere. The monk, when censured by the wise, should not be alarmed, nor should he be elated when honored. Let him be without agitation, without aggression. Let him eliminate greed and aversion. For him, there are no supports here, and he is not found anywhere in between. He is without greed. Truly, he does not long for existence. The chapter on association. Associate with those who are wise, who are devoted to meditation, who are learned, who are steadfast, who are dutiful, who are noble. Associate with such people. Associate with those who are faithful, possessed of virtue and of understanding, who are generous, who are rid of avarice. Associate with such people. Associate with those who are gentle, wise, understanding, learned, who know the meaning, who dispel doubts. Associate with such people. Associate with those who are patient, dutiful, of stable character, rid of arrogance, who have overcome danger. Associate with such people. Associate with such people. Associating with such people, one will learn. Following their instructions, one will live discerningly. Knowing the meaning, one fares on the path of truth. Thus, associating with good associates, one comes to the end of sorrow. The chapter on seeing. When you know the Dhamma for yourself, then you train for the subduing of perception. He should be ever mindful. A monk, he should guard his own mind, abandoning all that is unskillful. Let him train only in the skillful. The monk should steady himself on mindfulness and wisdom. He should diminish sorrow. He should not live attached to material things. He should be discriminating in the analysis of meaning. He should know cause and effect. Protecting himself, he should protect others. Disciplined, a man of wisdom, he dwells in that which is called cleansing, a steadfast one. Without agitation, he does not long for existence anywhere. For the monk who dwells like this, rightly seeing, delusion vanishes. Thus, in this very life, he becomes one who is purified through knowledge. The chapter of the eights is ended. The Parayana chapter. Vathagatha, the introductory stanzas. Having paid reverence to the feet of the perfectly enlightened one, as spoken by the seers, I will explain the questioning, according to my capacity. Questioned by them, as they approached, to explain according to truth, I will expound on the detachment taught by the realized one. For those who are striving, desiring to cross over to the far shore of existence, I will tell of that path which is well gone, having gone to the far shore. Thus spoke Bavari the Brahmin, and then he addressed the gods and seers. Explain this to me, good sirs, that I may know this detachment. Who, gone forth from Kapilavatthu, illumined the whole world. Tell me of him, that I may know this detachment. Then the seer, having compassion, in accordance with his knowledge, explained to him without agitation that supreme detachment. Bavari, listen to that exposition. Subduing craving, cross over the flood. Abandoning what exists not, there will be nothing for you to grasp. Having known the origin of existence, unattached, wander about as one who has crossed over. Hearing these words of the perfectly enlightened one, Bavari was delighted, greatly pleased, and he questioned him even further, eager to know. Bavari, how many questions will he question? That seer, free from defilement, cutting off doubt and abandoning evil. The perfectly enlightened one, Bavari, he will question 15 questions, one by one, and questioned by him, you will be able to know. Bavari, worthy Gautama, expounded as it is, I am willing to hear those questions which he will question, of their own nature, with wisdom. The perfectly enlightened one, listen, Brahmin, I will expound on those questions, as they were questioned, expound them, according to their sequence. There is the subjugation of attachment for you. His disciple Ajita questioned the perfectly enlightened one about that which is enmeshed for people here, Ajita, about name and form, where is it brought to a stop without remainder? The perfectly enlightened one, the question you have asked, Ajita, I will explain to you the stopping of name and form completely, through the cessation of consciousness, it is stopped there. Ajita, those who live mindfully, how does their behavior accord? Perfectly enlightened one, tell me that. Blessed one, tell me that. the perfectly enlightened one. He should not lust after sensual pleasures, Ajita. He should be pure in mind, skilled in regard to everything. A monk should be mindful. Having seen the cause of suffering, he should cross over the flood, unattached. He should not stain himself with sensual pleasures. Ajita's question is ended. Tisamitiya. I question you, blessed one. Tell me this. What is contentment here, perfectly enlightened one? Hearing what, has he abandoned anger? The perfectly enlightened one, knowing blamelessness, Tisamitiya, one is content. Being ever mindful, he has abandoned anger. Food should be fairly obtained. He should make his dwelling secluded, without longing in regard to any dwelling place. He should abandon craving like this. Matiya's question is ended. Panaka. I question you, blessed one, about the roots. I have come full of questioning. From where do these conditions originate for men? From where do they arise? The perfectly enlightened one. Panaka, these conditions originate from fondness. From fondness they arise. Arising from pleasure and pain. From this come these conditions. Panaka, from where does fondness originate? Blessed one, from where does fondness arise? From the lack of what does this not occur? How does one restrain fondness? The perfectly enlightened one. Fondness originates from perception. Panaka, from perception it arises. From the lack of perception, this does not occur. I tell you how one restrains fondness. He should be ever mindful, with regard to whatever he perceives, inwardly or outwardly. He should restrain it, thinking, this is not mine. Thus he will diminish fondness. Panaka, that in which there is no abatement. Blessed one, I ask you about that further. From the lack of what does this not occur? How does perception is brought to an end? The perfectly enlightened one, that in which there is no abatement. Panaka, I will explain that to you further. From the lack of craving this does not occur. Thus perception is brought to an end. Panaka, those whose craving is gone, blessed one, and who know the end of perception. Having seen the state of being without hope, their path in this world, tell me that. The perfectly enlightened one, those whose craving is gone, Panaka, and who know the end of perception. They are not driven on by hope. They have transcended all conditions. Panaka's question is ended. That Brahmin Kukamali questioned the perfectly enlightened one. Tell me of the state of peace, blessed one. Tell me of the state of unsurpassed peace. Having known what, is a man calm, and does not grasp at anything in the world. The perfectly enlightened one, he should know completely, inwardly and outwardly, nothing is worth adhering to. Therefore, Brahman, a monk should not grasp at anything in the world. Thus calmed, he is always mindful. Kukamali's question is ended. The Brahmin Jadamkani approached the perfectly enlightened one and asked this question. I am afflicted by craving, blessed one. I wish to cross over birth and death. Tell me of the state of unsurpassed peace. Expound the abandoning of birth and death. The perfectly enlightened one, having restrained craving for existence, Jadamkani, be ever mindful. Abandoning what exists not, there will be nothing for you to grasp. Abandon what is ahead and what is behind. If you do not grasp at what is in the middle, you will wander about in peace. For one in whom craving has ceased, there exists no attachment anywhere in the world. Jadamkani's question is ended. Then the monk Udaya approached the Blessed One, and having approached, respectfully saluted the Blessed One and sat down to one side. Sitting to one side, the monk Udaya said this to the Blessed One. I ask you, Gautama, about release from wisdom. How does a monk dispel ignorance completely, without anything remaining? The Blessed One. A monk should abandon pleasure and pain, dispel displeasure and also joy. Then, detached from all forms of existence, knowing inwardly, he dispels ignorance. Udaya, is there any other means, Blessed One, for one who is mindful and self-possessed to dispel ignorance? The Blessed One, I say that for one who is mindful and self-possessed there is. He should not take pleasure in pleasure, and he should understand pain as something that causes pain. Having known that these are impermanent, he dispels ignorance. Udaya, I delight in the words you have spoken, Gautama, about abandoning pleasure and pain. Now tell me about the abandoning of the covering and about release. The Blessed One, having abandoned sensual pleasure, displeasure, and indifference, having dispelled craving for existence, the monk is not dependent on any form of existence, Udaya. For him, the covering is abandoned, and there is release. Udaya's question is ended. Then the monk Pasala approached the Blessed One, and having approached, respectfully saluted the Blessed One and sat down to one side. Sitting to one side, the monk Pasala said this to the Blessed One. I ask you, Blessed One, about this. When does a monk have no support? When does he cut through the ties? The Blessed One, having completely known the realm of perception, inwardly and outwardly, Pasala, a monk who knows what is constant to be inconstant, who knows that there is no support, cuts through the ties. He has no attachment. Pasala's question is ended. Then the monk Maharaja approached the Blessed One, and having approached, respectfully saluted the Blessed One and sat down to one side. Sitting to one side, the monk Maharaja said this to the Blessed One. I have asked you this question before, Blessed One, but you have not yet answered me. When will you answer me? The Blessed One, Maharaja, ask me what you wish. Having approached, I will explain to you. Maharaja, I have asked you this question before, Blessed One, but the Blessed One has not yet answered me. Will I know death, or will there be no death for me? Tell me this, Blessed One, so that I might know, abandoning my own view. The Blessed One, look upon the world as empty, Maharaja, ever mindful. Having abandoned the view of self, one may thus cross over death. One who looks upon the world in this way is not seen by the King of Death. Maharaja's question is ended. Then the monk Pangaea approached the Blessed One, and having approached, respectfully saluted the Blessed One and sat down to one side. Sitting to one side, the monk Pangaea said this to the Blessed One: I am old, feeble, and advanced in years. My eyes are dim, and I am hard of hearing. Please tell me something, so that I may know, abandoning birth and death. The Blessed One, seeing people afflicted by craving, Pangaea, tormented by old age, be ever heedful and abandon craving for existence, so that you will not come to birth again. Pangaea's question is ended. The group of questions is ended. The 8th chapter, called the Octet. The Venerable Athavagga is ended. The 9th chapter, called the Way to the Beyond. 1. I will expound to you the way to the beyond, knowing which you are skilled. You will cross over the entanglement here. 2. Having abandoned the 5, got rid of the 5, and overcoming the 5, a monk who is freed from the 5 is called one who has crossed the flood. 3. I ask you this, Gautama, tell me this, the wise man who is skilled, who is very intelligent, how should a monk live? Living how, would he be called one who is heedful? 4. The monk who is without sensual pleasures, without deceptions, purged of conceit, has crossed over birth and old age. 5. For the one who is without sensual pleasures, without deceptions, purged of conceit, I will expound the way of life, how one is always heedful. 6. Having seen forms with the eye, he should not be delighted, and he should be restrained. Having heard sounds with the ear, he should not be delighted, and he should be restrained. 7. He should not be infatuated with perceptions, nor should he be attached to tastes. When touched by contacts, he should not be corrupted, and he should be restrained. 8. A monk should be restrained in these things. With a mind that is well established, he should be ever heedful. He should abandon these, and he should live detached. 9. He should abandon his cover, and he should abandon his elation. He should not be attached to anything anywhere. He should be one who is not tormented. Let him follow the state of detachment. 10. He should abandon what is before, and he should abandon what is after. If you do not grasp at what is in the middle, you will go wandering without clinging. 11. With regard to name and form, all of it, for him, is sickening. He should not be tormented by anything whatsoever. He would not be a one by whom evil things are smeared. 12. The monk who is without greed, without avarice, without longing, without animosity. He has no inclination to anything anywhere. He has crossed over birth and old age, I say. The chapter called To the Beyond is finished. The chapter of the Hermitage. 1. I will ask the Gautama who is secluded, without possessions, without craving, the great sage. For the sake of the one who is without possessions, who is living alone, tell me about the hermitage. How should a monk live? 2. I will tell you, just as it is, the hermitage here and now. For the one who is without possessions, who is living alone, this is how a monk should live. 3. Fearing harassment, he should restrain himself within. He should not look around here and there. When he goes to the village, he should not cut people off in conversation. 4. He should not find fault with his hermitage, and he should not be anxious when going around for alms. When he gets alms, he should not be arrogant, and he should not be dependent upon others. 5. He should not get unseemly talk started, and he should not say what is done and undone. Though abused by others, he should speak restrainedly. He should not be angry when they scold him. 6. When he is touched by the sensations, he should be restrained with regard to the 5 stimuli. Let him guard his mind and be composed. He should be content with what he gets. 7. With this, he should banish dejection, and he should also reject elation. He should not be arrogant, and he should not be deceitful. He should follow the state of purity in his life. 8. Let him not be fond of this taste or that, and let him eat having obtained meals from others. Living secluded in his hermitage, let him not be negligent. Let him be in harmony with his companions. 9. This is the beginning of discernment, solitude, and then contentment. Practicing in harmony with them, he will reach the state of nirvana. The chapter called The Hermitage is finished. Concerning quarrels and disputes. 1. From what do quarrels and disputes arise? From what do accusations and strife and contentiousness arise? From what does conceited talk arise? Tell me about that, O Lord. 2. Quarrels and disputes arise from what is dear. Accusations, strife, and contentiousness arise from what is dear. Conceited talk arises from quarrels, and disputes arise together with them. 3. What is dear in the world? From what do longings arise? From what do desires and their fulfillment arise? From what does what is dear to a person arise? 4. Sensual pleasure is dear in the world. Longings arise from sensual pleasure. Desires and their fulfillment arise from sensual pleasure. What is dear to a person arises from sensual pleasure. 5. From what do desires come into being in the world? From what do firm determinations here arise? From what do anger, deception, doubt, and conceited talk arise. 6. Desires come into being from what is liked in the world. Firm determinations here arise from what is liked. Anger, deception, doubt, and conceited talk arise from what is liked. 7. From what do firm determinations come into being? From what do speculations arise? From what do desires and disappointments, which harass a person, arise? 8. Firm determinations come into being from perceptions. Speculations arise from firm determinations. Desires and disappointments, which harass a person, arise from here. 9. From what do perceptions come into being in the world? From what do the things that harass a person arise? Tell me about the stopping of perceptions. Tell me about their destruction. 10. Perceptions come into being from contacts. The things that harass a person arise from perceptions. I will tell you about the stopping of perceptions. There is no other way to their destruction. 11. These sensual pleasures are happiness, that is perception, agitation, and constant desire. Knowing sensual pleasure to be an entanglement in the world, a monk should ever train himself to abandon it. 12. He should abandon what is seen, heard, sensed, and cognized, as well as things connected with morality and practice. He should not thirst for any kind of becoming, for those who are intent on nirvana do not depend on anything. The chapter concerning quarrels and disputes is finished. The shorter discourse on the array. 1. I will ask the Buddha who is without conceit, the one with vision, who has cut off doubt. Tell me about the array. How did perceptions spread abroad in the world? 2. The person himself makes an array here. Dull-witted people fall into this. The person himself makes an array. Another says that he does not. These entanglements are various. I will tell you about that. For from perception come these arrays, from which the fool is obstructed. 3. From what do perceptions come into being in the world? How do firm determinations come into being? How do desires and disappointments, which harass a person, arise? 4. Perceptions come into being from contacts in the world. Firm determinations come into being from perceptions. Desires and disappointments, which harass a person, arise from here. 5. From what do contacts come into being in the world? From what does greed arise? From what do desires and disappointments arise? From what does contact with perceptions arise? 6. Contacts come into being from name and form in the world. Greed arises from contacts. Desires and disappointments arise from greed. Contact with perceptions arises in this way. 7. How does a person pass beyond name and form? How is perception completely stopped? Tell me when this question was asked of you. 8. Without perceiving, without being agitated, without perceiving what is not perceived, then there is no further array for him, for consciousness is his own. The chapter called The Shorter Discourse on the Array is finished. The Greater Discourse on the Array. 1. I will ask you, admonisher, tell me this. When dwelling, from what does this array come into being? For I wish to know about the array. How did these things come into being? 2. A person makes an array for himself. Lacking perception, he says that he has seen. Thinking that this is the important thing in the world, attached to becoming, he does not know the abandonment. 3. But the one who is wise is one who knows, for he does not become attached to becoming. He knows everything here as it really is, and for him there is no maker of array. 4. I have seen a purified Brahmin wandering without a companion. Having not seen the array of sensual pleasure, he has crossed over the entanglement here. 5. He has abandoned sensual pleasure, the despicable array. He does not make another array. Having abandoned all perceptions of name and form, he does not make anything his own. The chapter called The Greater Discourse on the Array is finished. The Sharp Edge 1. I will ask you, tell me this. How did wisdom arise? How does one cut off all action? I will ask you to tell me this. 2. Delighting in sense objects, a person becomes immersed in perception. Seeing advantage, he makes things his own. Having seen disadvantage, he is not stained by the world. 3. As one cuts off a reed with a sharp edge, so he should cut off passion. A wise person should live without desire, having abandoned sensual pleasure. 4. What is it that binds the world? What is its range? Through the abandonment of what is one completely liberated? Please tell me this. 5. Affection binds the world, its range is thought. Through the abandonment of desire, one is completely liberated. 6. What is the wisdom of one who has abandoned desire, and what is his conduct? How should he live in this world? Please tell me this. 7. He should have no deception, no arrogance. He should be without greed and without backbiting. Let him abandon affection and aversion, and let him be liberated from dependence. 8. For him, I say that he does not become involved in sense objects. Having cut the stream, he does not tremble. 9. I approve of his going, I approve of his dwelling, I approve of his sitting, and I approve of his lying down. For a Brahmin who is freed in every way, there is nowhere that he would choose. The chapter called The Sharp Edge is finished. What the hermit knew 1. I will ask you, tell me this. What is the origin of name and form? Whence does perception come into being? Where do these things stop completely? Please tell me this. 2. The origin of name and form is food. Perception comes into being from contact. They stop completely where thought stops. 3. With certainty you have cut off our doubt, Brahman, about what we asked you. Please tell us something else. 4. Everywhere people say wisdom, wisdom. But what is wisdom, and how do those with wisdom act? Please tell me this. 5. Here a wise person knows name and form as it really is. He sees that this is the origin of suffering, and thus he is one with wisdom. 6. He is said to be wise, understanding, and learned. Such a person knows, for he has wisdom. 7. Everywhere people say a fetter, a fetter. Please tell me what the fetter is, and how one abandons it. 8. There is no desire for sense objects, for all becoming, and for thought. This is called a fetter. It is abandoned through wisdom. 9. Everywhere people say hardship, hardship. Please tell me about hardship and how one overcomes it. 10. Hardship in the world is sensual pleasure. They speak of cutting it off with mindfulness. By abandoning sensual pleasure, one overcomes hardship. 11. Everywhere people say ascetic, ascetic. But what kind of action do ascetics perform? Please tell me this. 12. Here the actions of ascetics are pure, and they do not perform bad actions, either secretly or openly. They have abandoned both life and death, and are liberated from the entanglements here. 13. Well, asked are the questions that I asked you. You have explained them to me according to reality. Now I ask you something else. Please tell me that. 14. Everywhere people say wise, wise. But how does one become wise? When does one become one who is wisdom? 15. Always desiring the good. One has confidence in the good, and one likes the good. That is how one becomes wise. Then one becomes one who has wisdom. The chapter called What the Hermit Knew is finished. The chapter of eights is finished. The chapter on Uraga 1. As an adder sheds its worn-out skin, so a monk should abandon passion and aversion. Thus he abandons them. 2. He should not do anything through passion. He should not be one who depends on another. He should not follow any quarrelsome associations in the world. 3. A monk should learn from what he has heard. He should reflect rightly, and he should see everything rightly. This is the establishment of mindfulness. 4. He should be restrained in what he sees and hears, and he should not depend on sensual pleasure. He should not be greedy for food, and he should be without laziness. 5. He should be without longing, without deception, and he should be without arrogance. He should be rid of backbiting, and he should not be angry. 6. He should overcome affection. He should overcome aversion, and he should abandon every kind of fetter. Then he will not be tormented by longing for anything in the world. 7. He honors the one who is worthy of honor, and he is not envious of others. He is not attached to name and form, and he does not make anything his own. 8. He is not overcome by longing. and he has no greed. He is without dependence, and he goes beyond everywhere. 9. For him there is nothing that he has seen, heard, or thought about, for he is devoid of all ideation, and thus, indeed, is a Brahmin. 10. He does not long for what is to come. He is not sad about what is past. He sees detachment in contacts, and he is not led by opinions. 11. He is without deception. He is without indolence, and he is rid of desire and arrogance. It is said that he is one who has crossed over the entanglement here. 12. He is without passion and aversion. He has gone beyond becoming. He is without stain and without sorrow. Such a person is not stained by sensual pleasure. The chapter called Uraga is finished. Alone like a rhinoceros one. Abandoning violence towards all beings, not harming even one of them. Let him not wish for a son, or how much less a companion. Let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 2. Association comes from affection. Following affection, this suffering comes again and again. Seeing this danger in affection, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 3. One who is sympathetic is bound up, and minds are joined together. This association is followed by various kinds of attachment. Seeing this danger in affection, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 4. A child at play is attached to things, and he longs for things that are pleasing. Separation from what is pleasing causes distress. Seeing this danger in affection, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 5. As a bamboo tree with intertwined branches, so is affection and concern for one's companion. Like a bamboo shoot that is not entwined, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 6. As animals in the forest, let him go for alms without intimacy from house to house. Not despising what he obtains, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 7. Without ridding himself of indolence, without subduing distraction, and always impure, he does not attain singleness. Abandoning these imperfections, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. 8. Abandoning disreputable association and avoiding what is not fitting, let him not follow after sights and sounds. Not greedy for tastes, let him wander alone like a rhinoceros. The chapter called Alone Like a Rhinoceros will continue.